This is Rod Kusin, Spoonman for Risk on February 21st, 2019. All times on the chart, Central Standard Time. We're at the open, and we've made it all the way up to 27.98. We're retracing now. Here's your retracement areas. We'll be following the premium as we get down to 71.64, and then depending on what happens there, we might be going a bit lower. We'll have to see. We'll get back. Okay, we just took our big dip down into 71.25, and it's rocketing back from that level. But as low as the premium was, you know that's going to be tested. Wow, the premium just tanked when it got in there. Whew. Yeah, don't let that fool you. We're getting a reaction, obviously, from hitting that low. There was a lot of people expecting that target. But yeah, that was right at the low. So we're going to come back and test 71.25. So we took some of our position off the table there. Let's look at this. There was your retracement right to the money. But anybody going long right there who doesn't look at the premium is going to be sad. They're going to be a little sad unless they're just looking for a scalp, because this is coming right back. It's going to go right back down there. Give it a little time, but what they expect out of a long trade is not going to materialize, because this will retrace all the way back, and maybe then some. Now we adjusted our strategies to go long, but we may be premature. There's our first long trade. I think we need to come back. We're going to test that level. Watch the premium carefully for an opportunity to get into a long trade here. Now we get a long signal here. This dip looks like it's divergent enough for that signal to materialize. Obviously, this is our low. We're divergent from it. If we look at the premium here, 98. $94, that's enough. But I suspect we'll probably come back down again. Okay, we didn't get a signal down here, but just looking at where the premium was here compared to here, I'm much more comfortable getting in there than I was here. So we pulled off some limit orders that were filled right down here. I'll show you that. And that's where we got in. We took some money off the table. Didn't want to make it past the 27.74 low volume area on this move. show you that. I said, that was nice. But it's got to get past that. And when it doesn't, it comes back as it's doing now. So it may be that we'll get some more buyers to help push this up further. But at the moment, I just said, no, that's okay. I don't need to hold this at this particular time more than I already have. So I dumped it. Okay, could break even further. So we're getting stopped out right here. See if we get another long trade, and we did. Look at where the premium is. That ought to materialize. Good. Look at that. Yeah. People agree. Now, what I don't like about this is that the POC has now dropped to 71.75. That means that the low value area is not properly placed. Well, we may be able to get a rally out of this. Let's just look at this. Yeah, the amount of volume generated at 71.75 is a concern to me, because that should push the low value area even lower, meaning that this is going to go lower. So I'm not real confident about this. So we're getting back to 74. See if we push through. Okay, we're repairing at 74.25. Premium's not overly excited with that, and we're not above fair value yet either. So it looks like we're going to spend a little time in here. Yep, there's the drift. You can see lows going lower on the premium, the highs going lower as well. Now we may be able to turn again here. Okay, we'll come back and recap. We'll give this some time. Now, having broken down, looking at where that TPO is, that does tell me that we're probably going to continue on down, and maybe recheck the 63 area. So we're not going to go long until at least we get down to test the 2766 area right in here where we were the other day. That's the next target. Well, interestingly enough, that long trade generated a push through 75. But don't be fooled. Let's just look at the premium here. Now we set up ourselves so we could go short again. We might be a little premature right there. Let's look at this. Look at the premium. So we're going to gauge the premium here, or measure it here, and you can see how the low of that move on the JMA4 was at 64. Now we come to a lower low, and we're at 71. Okay, now it edges up a little bit right in here to 50. And up we go, and nicely, all right, nicely. Nothing wrong with that, but it would appear, all right, when you look at these lows in here, and let's just take a look at the threshold indicator. Okay, measuring our lows in here, we're just using one moving average here just so that you can see. Now we were a little bit higher here. I'm surprised. Of course, this is a 5-second chart as well, so it's not quite the same. You know, we may have misread that. Did we misread this? I don't think so. But all the same, the premium did step up. Turned here. Well, that was nice. How about that? It does not. Okay, I mean the premium's not lying here. This is what it did, and yeah, we had a nice step up there, and it kicked off that long into 75, and it's reaching up there again. Wow. But what's strange about this is that doesn't look like a very logical place to go long. We need to get down there to 66. Now let's just talk about this signal for a second. Look at the premium. See how we were moving up higher, higher, higher still. All right. Now we got the signal there as we turned. But the intent here is to help you to read the premium. And if you look at the highs here, and you look at this high on the premium, that's the raw data. Okay? We're even higher there. Now, we're not quite as high on the ES, however, because we were at 75, I think 75, 75. Yeah, right there. We didn't quite get that high. We need to go back there. Okay? We're not there yet. Now, another way you could also look at this, while the signal has generated where it did, right at 75, there was a bit of, just a little bit of divergence. You got a little lower high here. But that high here, okay, suggested that we should go higher. Now we were at 75 right there. Over here, let's check that. We made it to 75.25, just a tick higher than it was here, and a lower high here. Now, that's there's your divergence. Okay, you definitely have some divergence there. But this was a little, I think we got faked out. Honestly, I think I got faked out. Now look at the lows here, 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 here. What's happening? Well, they're going lower, aren't they? And then right here. And then we turn up. Now we had hit this area of support, although I think that's very suspect. Very suspect. But you've got lower lows, lower lows, lower lows, lower lows on the premium, even to right there. And so that really raises any question about this being the low. We should be at a higher low. I mean, if that low was over here, and the premium looked more like this, yeah, that would make sense. But the premium says we're going to go lower. Okay, see what's happening to the premium. We're getting higher lows, higher highs. So for the moment, got a little bit of a move up here. Let's see if we manage to get back up to the that 74.25 low volume node. So these automated signals are kicking in here. And if you look at this move here, and then this high on the premium, okay, there's your divergence, okay, and then we get another little kick right up there, and all of that becomes divergent in here, and that made sense. That's the way it's supposed to work. And looking at that low naked bar right there. So shorting it up in here, as we saw, made good sense because this needs to come back. That's got to get tested. That's the low. That's 69.75. And yeah, 69.75. Rest of that, I wouldn't even worry about it. All right, we haven't made it quite down that far. As you can see, the premium turned here. We ran up here, broke all these stops in there. And what do you do about that? You take a short there. What about this? You take a long here. Watch what happens. Now let's talk about what happened. That new high on the premium, okay, corresponding with this new high on the ES. Very clearly, this is going to indicate that the market should return to that price. All right, but this low on the ES in here indicates we're going to return to that price. The question is, you don't know what's going to happen first. You've got to wait. So once we come back to that price, 77.50, and we're not there yet. Okay. Oh yes, you were. Pardon me. 77.50 right there. Comes right back. Now you're divergent. And now it's safe to short this, because now you can expect that this price is going to be tested. You don't short it here and you don't go long here. You wait. Short it here or higher if it should go there. And then you can pull the trade when it comes back here. All right, let's watch it. So what did I say? Yeah, do you short it here? Do you go long here? No, you wait because, yeah, the premium says we're going to come back and test this. We did. The premium also says we're going to come back and test this, and we did. Okay. Now, the automated strategy actually did take a short trade in both places, but all the same, it's a matter of learning how to read what the premium is telling you is going to happen. It's not always as clear as it just was. Yeah, that was that was a good lesson. That was a very good lesson. So I think we're still going to come back down and go lower. I believe I've got that hunch. We could be wrong, but one thing I'm still anticipating before we cut out on this video, that low, all right? That needs to be tested as well. So with that thought in mind, we'll come back a little later, anticipating that we're going to return to the low here at 70.25. 70.25. We'll come back a little later. Now, incidentally, as we came down and we tested that price over here, then went lower, but look what happened to the premium. So you can't ignore that. In as much as we anticipate where the market will eventually go, fact remains that in the meantime, you still got to watch what's happening. Still got to watch what's happening. Because obviously here and here, compared to here and here, you got a divergent. It comes down even further. Test that. Oops. Okay, so up we go again. Now, as you saw this market move up to a higher position here, then it went higher. What we typically expect to occur as the premium cycles down, as it has here, we need to see it cycle back up, which it just momentarily attempted to do. And if the new high on the ES is associated with a lower high on the premium, as it is here, that's when we would expect the short to materialize. We don't short it on the way down here. Generally speaking, we're not going to do that. We're going to short it after it cycles back up. And this was really brief. This was very, very brief here. Now I've eliminated some of the faster indicators just so that this becomes real plain, what we're trying to illustrate here in the way of a cycle. Again, let's go back here, take a look at a couple of examples. Okay, yeah, here's a good example. Earlier in the morning, when the market moved down to this first low, all right, we'll just call it this low. That's not where you want to go long, even though the premium is cycling up. You want to go long after it comes back down, and if the ES is lower when the premium is higher, that's when it makes sense to go long. So obviously not here, and obviously not here because you're not at a lower low. Okay, we've got to be at least this low at a higher low on the premium. You get that in here. Okay, that's where it makes sense. And you see the reading on the premium here compared to here. Now, it doesn't quite materialize the way we want, but over here is another good opportunity to go long, as you see how the premium is now higher still. And it still doesn't quite work out because we go a little lower in here. All right, finally we hit the low, and we're at a higher low again at this point. So now it's safer to go long right in there. Now, having said that, do you short it up here? Well, look at where the premium is. That doesn't really make sense. 75, 75. That's where this went to. And we expected that price to get tested. And this is where I said, yeah, it's kind of faking us out a little bit here because we didn't make it back up as of yet to 75, 75. Then we come, so yeah, we're going long here, but are we shorting this? Well, no, we're definitely not shorting that. Are we shorting this? Yeah, now that made a little bit more sense to possibly short that. And then when we come down to here at 69.75, and we look at where the premium is, that's a comparatively new low at negative 123. Market rallies up. And comes back down. Okay, you've got divergence here. All right, so there's 75.25. We've got a lower read on the premium here. That comes down, hits a higher low, but comparatively lower than it was here. So we expect that to get tested as well. And then we start to move up again. And there's the divergence. So here you're finding the same situation again. So the premium begins to drop, and apparently we need to ignore that because over here we finally get this run up. And here we are at negative 14, yeah. And where are we here? As we hit that high, with a lower high. But we need to wait. We'll climb back up here. but we're already a bit higher. Okay, so we're not really ready to short any move here. This has got to go higher. Okay, we've just adjusted the moving average to show you some of the faster moving averages here. And as we mentioned, as this move up takes place, we want it to cycle again. And as we cycled, we came up even higher. Although the Spoos pulled back, that gives you a clue to go long on the turn down here. Beautiful. And look what happened. Boom. So let's look at that again. I've taken out the noise. We come back up here. You know, we're not shorting it here. And this is really kind of a temporary move. We're not at a higher high here. And then we get higher here still. So all that suggests is any move back. It's a good time to go long. And we obviously don't want to short that either. We're going up. We're not coming down right now. And so you see. So you don't want to short it, and you don't want to short this either, not yet. Now we're turning. Looks like 80, 25. Yeah. All right, I think we may have gotten a signal there. But no signals in here would make sense. Not because of this. Here, yes. Here, no. Let's take a look. So the only one of these signals, or set of signals that makes any sense, is right up here at the top because of what you see on the premium. Here. We're trying to make this just really obvious. Okay. However, given that we managed to bounce here and we didn't get down as low here, and everything is now indicating the premium seems to be wanting to go up, I don't think it would be making any sense at all, you know, to try to short this. I think it looks to me like we're in for a long for the balance of the morning. It's a Thursday, and we came off of the initial balance low here at 9:15, and we're heading back to the high of the morning. So yeah, all of this now looks like we might as well remain long and not really think about trying to get into a short trade. It's not really making that much sense. And being that we're on a Thursday, let's just take a look at the statistics. We keep a tally of the probability that the market on any particular day of the week will reach the projected first standard deviation line from the initial balance. And Tuesdays and Wednesdays, right now the 3-month average is pretty good. 6-month average, Thursdays were very good, Friday of course being the best day. But we've got a pretty good chance, better than 76% probability that we're going to continue this rally. And for that reason, yeah, any trade at this point really ought to be long. And our expectation of where the market was going to go and pull back to needs to be revised. And here's what you see on the premium, and now revisiting this, that's clear. Yeah, any pullback really might as well go long. This isn't going to go any lower. So here was our low on the premium. There's the low of the ES, and we really haven't dropped much below that average here. Only time that happened was here. We said that was going to get tested. It was, and that's where the premium was when it did. Now this was a little low, but evidently not low enough, and up we went. Now it looks like we'll get some pullback here and another opportunity to get long. But that really, yeah, it's very plain here. When you look at it this way, it's very plain. Okay, I think we're gonna call it a morning. We're gonna suspend the video at this point, and we'll recap at the close. Well, we got one nice long signal right in here, and that has proven to be effective. Let's go back to the IB. Target, however, is way up here, where we were yesterday. So we've got a good 7 points to before we make it back up to this range at 86.25. So I wouldn't think of going short until we get up there. Well, we're back to recap the activity of the day for the 21st. That long trade did produce, but right as we got to the top of that move, the strategy began to short this. Now let's take a look at the premium, and we'll see what was really happening. Now I've really oversimplified this this particular chart to make the point. This is sitting on the premium. Okay, I want you to believe that. There it is. It's sitting on the premium. All right. So we got a high here shortly before 11 o'clock. And we were thinking that, oh yeah, this is going to continue on up, and we're going to head toward 86. We had said previous to this that when the market was rallying, it seems that what ought to be happening is that we ought to be testing this low at 27.66. Because as the market shorted in the first part of the morning, I said, this doesn't really seem like, it's a good place to go long, but the premium was going long. There was no question about it, And so we were heading back up, and in fact went up to the 23.6 retracement line, right on the money, right on the money. And then it turned and came back down. Now, all that having been said, as I mentioned, the premium started going long. Now, this is the premium. This is a very, very slow setting, but that's the premium. So we're looking at this high, and we should be going higher than this, which we do. But then, as you notice, we get divergent here. We're not getting a new high on the premium here. So that doesn't look good. And then the premium tanks in here, which indicates that ought to be tested. And it is over here. But then we're heading up again. But as we get to the high, right as we get to that 23.6 retracement line, right on the money, all right, we have this divergence on the premium. Now, that doesn't really tell me that this thing is going to short big time. I really didn't expect that. But there it is on the premium, okay, as plain as day. So we start coming down here, and we hit this low. So that's not nothing really spectacular about that. And then we come into this low here, and the premium is heading up again. So you're thinking, all right, this thing ought to go back up. It really ought to go back up. But then this weirdness happens on the premium. I mean, that was like really weird. And we move up this way on the premium, and then all of a sudden we start to drop again. So that would suggest that this high is the high here. Okay, all of this we ought to be able to go back up because the premium's so high here. But now the premium begins to slack off here, and that happens. That's not unusual. But I'm really figuring, yeah, this thing is going to go back up. But notice what happens right here. We come up, and then the premium turns again, right as we get up to that high. And then notice what happens. Wow. There it is, right on the premium. Much lower high. Higher high here than this. Lower high here on the premium. And the premium tanks. Big time. So you're certainly not going to go long here because this is a new low. It's even crossed this very slow moving average. And then we move up again and we drop down to this point. Now you've got some divergence here. It's true. You got some divergence here. So that kind of looks like it might be a good time to go long. But keep in mind 69.50. Let's go back to the retracement. At 69.50, we're not quite at the low of the morning. And it would stand to reason that that's going to get tested. 69 versus 69.50, come on. With it shorting as much as it did, it's got to go lower. So in spite of the fact that it does that, and we get a little bit of a bounce, look at the premium, turns again, it's moving down we tag this high. There's the premium at that high. We're still moving down on the premium, so that bounce is full of hot air. You want to, well, if you're not already short, you want to get short because that's real clear here. And then it tanks again and takes us all the way down. Now, this is the move up on the premium, and we then drop on the premium again into this little low. It's a divergence, and it would look like we're liable to start going up, because after all, we're now down on the retracement right in here. We don't quite make it to 63.50. We're at 64.25. But that's where the premium turns. Now, let's continue to look at this. So we get this nice robust move up. Premium turns again, starts to slope down. And you're not really expecting that this is, by the way, this is kind of poorly formed. But nevertheless, we get this nice move up. But now look at the premium. As we start hitting these highs again, premium turns one more time. Right in there. Lower high. And you just got to follow this. Because as it goes down, we come into this low. That's very well formed. Okay. This was kind of weird. So we test that low right to the money, and sure enough, the premium turns here, and that's the low for the day. And then the premiums, or then the Spoos bounce, and they start heading back up. Now, all that having been said, the low here corresponds with this low, and weirdness does happen in the last half hour with the premium. This is kind of weird. That's just kind of weird. So I would expect that we'll come back and we'll test this. We may retrace it all the way back down to the 63.50 level, but all the same, that's what happens. Wow. Did not expect that. Now, I did mention in our review of the morning, I said this low, that's kind of a naked bar. It's a lower low on the premium. And there's no divergence there. And the same was true here. That also was a naked bar. And so I thought that we were going to come back down and test those levels. But then as the premium was continuing to move up, I said, yeah, okay, we're going to have to forget that. But as it sometimes happens, you know, the premium gives you a heads up on what's about to happen, and that's what happened here. I'm really surprised at that. So there was the high, and that's kind of a naked bar as well, but it's also right up against that that level, the 23.6 retracement level, right at the money. So those things happen. So we'll likely come back. We'll probably get a little retracement here and then start to move up, because this high on the 20th on Wednesday, you know, we broke that support level, and now that's moved up to 27.99 and a quarter. and we still have upper value areas higher than that. So we'll move back, but you know, today's activity really gives you a good idea that buyers are not very convinced of continuing the rally up much beyond this area. I would really doubt it, but we'll see. So premium was, oh my goodness, was it useful today? Very, very useful. Very bizarre right in here. Oh, that was so bizarre. But that, oh, what a telltale indication that this market was in big trouble. Okay, so come take a demonstration. We'll spend time with you. We'll be happy to show you how we're doing things. This is an open source strategy. You can modify it, adjust it, code it according to the way perhaps you would prefer to have things displayed, but in any event, it works, and it works quite nicely. Check out our website as well, RSKsys.com. So for today, Thursday, February 21st, 2019, I'm Rod Kusin and Spooman for Risk.